Okay, thank you so much. I'm really glad for the opportunity to participate in this seminar and, of course, propose my key takeaways. So thank you indeed. And as I'm actually sitting on several chairs, as Ingmar already mentioned, I'm representing our Estonian Association of Spatial Planners, but I do my everyday work as a planning consultant and also try to engage students into spatial planning in University of Tartu. So my joys and sorrows are all related to planning practice, and of course the digital revolution is very much in the center of things right now. So let me just share my reflections. I think I certainly heard a number of thought-provoking ideas and new information today. I think we all know that digitation is kind of a necessity, but still there is a strong need to continue to discuss about the pros and cons. In Estonia, I think the need is really kind of severe. We kind of, I think, see more the cons, the disadvantages, the risks, the fears, and we tend to forget about the advantages. So I was very pleased to hear Professor Anna Herzberger's presentations where the advantages were clearly pointed out. Let's say the timely updates and communicating the revisions of the plans that actually did increase the flexibility of planning processes. This is very important for me as a practitioner. And of course, the key terms, I think in Estonia and maybe in some other countries as well, we kind of tend to forget that there is indeed a difference between digitation and digitalization, the latter being the ways in which the society of planning reacts to digitation. So we mix it up, we generalize things maybe a little too much. So I believe that we have some room for development in our discussions, at least here. And of course, ESPON DigiPlan, I think, has done a wonderful job in creating clarity in this very highly diverse world in Europe. And also the case study of Turgu, presented by Nora, about using 3D landscapes, I think reminded us some important things, the digital divide being one of them, and the kind of the status quo that digital tools can still only be the tools that planners use in participatory planning, but they are not all the tools that should be used, at least right now. And let me see my notes here. About the more interactive second session, of course, I already know that Estonia has a very bold vision of fully digital and machine-readable plans in the future. But right now it seems that maybe Denmark is leading the race, at least at some point. From Uffer's presentation, I heard that almost a quarter of plans are already online, not PDFs anymore. So this is very impressive. And of course, the Sweden's experience in storing maybe more planning related geodata, this is really important as well. But as I understand that in Denmark, Sweden, and Norway, The approved plans are still in the form of PDFs. So this is the case in Estonia too. We do have some very novel approaches from my hometown Tartu. But I see that we have a common goal here to get rid of this PDF curse, to really start to use the great amounts of participatory, statistical, quantitative geodata that we actually gather during our planning processes. But I was really intrigued by Norwegian dream plans. Was it dream plans? Hilde mentioned project. Yes, this sounded very fascinating for me. Kind of simplified land use plans, as I understood, and joint service plans. This is something I would really like to know more about. And of course, the level of precision that was brought up by several participants, to me too, it is a highly relevant topic, as I'm personally more involved in kind of strategic spatial planning, comprehensive plans for local municipalities, regional plans, national level plans. I see that there are some risks that we kind of tend to lose the strategic approach, that we are getting lost into details. So this is my biggest fear when we are talking about the digitization of our plans. And of course, the last example from Switzerland, so digitizing not only legally binding plans, but also the development ideas, and indeed having models for that as well. This was really impressive, of course. Yes, we hope to move into similar way in Estonia, I understand. And definitely the future job is to discuss whether it is a good idea to move into harmonizing the digital planning data in European Union, or should we not address this topic. So I think this is a great bunch of topics and themes for future seminars. So I think for Estonian planning practitioners, the kind of digital revolution, at least some time ago, seemed like a minefield. There were so many challenges, so many things that can go really wrong, actually, and result in, let's say, over-regulating the spatial planning, or in the situation where the plan itself is interpreted as merely a set of restrictions, a set of very specific conditions and mostly restrictions. So this is something we have discussed in our society or association, and I think we should address this topic in the future as well. And of course, it is a comfort to see that there are some concerns elsewhere as well. And of course, I do hope that the concerns are taken seriously by both the researchers and policymakers. So I think Astrid from our Ministry of Finance said in the very beginning of today's seminar, although the standardization, categorization, and classification is essential actually to achieve the data quality, I think we cannot jeopardize the creativity and certain flexibility of plan making and planning work. So for me, this is one of the key takeaways from today's seminar. I would like very much to thank the organizers, the ESPON network, the Ministry of Finance. I enjoyed the seminar very much. The 3 hours were very engaging. Thank you so much.